Hello everyone and welcome back to the Division 2, and on this episode we're going to look at the Suits You Sir trophy. Now this one is quite easy to get, but there's a bit of preparation that you're going to need, especially if you want to boost this. What you want to do is you want to go into your collectibles and then into database, and then if you go to the bottom you'll see that you've got a bunch of snitch cards. There's the playing cards sets, there's clubs, spades, hearts and diamonds, and there's also the Arcana cards. Now the Arcana cards, these are only found in New York, and all the others are all found in Washington DC. Now what's worth noting is that you can only get these from named enemies. These are yellow enemies, elite enemies that are named, and these are the ones that have to spawn in the open world as well. They can't spawn, anywhere else. You see, so we're going to have a look at this now. Now, if you have a look at your map, you'll see that we're just by the base of operations. Now, these named enemies will spawn all the way around the map, but the easiest one to find for this set of cards is right about here where we're going to go to. Now you only have to complete one set, you don't have to complete all of them, but if you're a bit of a completionist like me, obviously you'll want to try and complete them all. So if you go to this location that I've just marked, you'll see that there's some enemies running around. You'll see that there is an elite there, along with some purple enemies. You can see he's Lieutenant Don, and he's the sort of guy that we need to be looking for. Now, there are, as I say, there are 4 different suits. So, as I say, you only have to complete one of the 4 different suits, and each suit consists of 13 different cards. Now, depending on the suit will be depending on the enemy type of enemy that you find. So, for example, the diamonds, that will be the Black Tusk faction, and these enemies will be named in 3 words. For example, Carson Riot Frost, Rebecca Viper of Osborne, Jake Boomerang Riley, etc. You may also find a warhound called Daisy. That's also one as well. Now the spades is the hyenas faction, and these are just one single word. For example, Dewey or Crab or Sharps, for example. There's also clubs, which is the outcast faction. These enemies will be named with the word the before it. So the wicked and the brutal and the fearless, for example. And then finally we've got the hearts set, which is the True Sons faction. And these enemies will have military ranks, for example, Staff Sergeant Bonneville, Lieutenant Don, Captain Matthews, etc. So this one here, this enemy here will actually drop a Hearts card. If it's not a Hearts card that you're actually looking for, the best thing to do is just to run away. The quickest thing actually is just to fast travel to the base of operations, and then just run back, and it'll be a completely different enemy, and you just keep doing that until you get the enemy card that you want. There shouldn't be any repeats of that card. It should always drop cards, so if you just want to keep just killing them, then that's fine. It is worth noting that though, that once you kill the enemy here, he won't show up again for another 30 minutes. So it's probably best just to put it into your rotation. When you start up the game, just run this route that I'm doing now. Kill the enemy once you've got the enemy that you want, the enemy faction, and then go and do a couple of missions and come back later. And it's the exact same for the New York expansion as well, if you want the Arcana ones for any reason. Like I said, if you're a bit of a collectible addict like I am, then you'll see. So you can see this one here is Mullet. So Mullet is part of the Spades faction because he's a hyena. You'll see that obviously because we've just fast travelled there, that little sort of boost worked there. So like I said, if it was a mullet that you was after, if it was the hyenas faction, obviously you'd get that. Again, still, if it's not the faction you want, again, just fast travel away and come back. So that's basically New York. That's the easiest way to get the one for Washington DC. So we're going to go to New York now, and I'm going to show you a location for the Arcana cards if you're going for those. And you want to fast travel to Liberty Island, and we're just going to wait. And then you want to set a marker for around about here. Now it is worth pointing out that if there are open world events around this area, there's a likely chance that the enemies won't spawn here, the named enemy. But usually if it's pretty quiet around here, you'll have a named enemy spawning. If it doesn't spawn here for whatever reason, just complete the open world event and go do something for a little bit and come back later. But 90% of the time, you'll be clear here. Usually they spawn up on the hill coming up or just around the corner. So we're going to go and have a look. So sometimes up on this hill here, there's some fighting over there, so that can sometimes hinder you. It only has to be a little fight to cause some problems. Ah, there we go. There he is. So it's Blink. So there's no set faction here. It's just whichever enemies are going to drop. You know, there's 22 different enemies of all the different factions in New York. So you just want to kill the named enemy. You can kill the other enemies as well. They're just going to, you know, give you extra XP. But the named enemy is what you want. And he will drop an Arcana card. Again, you'll have to wait 30 minutes before you come back here, before you can get anything else. Just another point as well, there is a orange box here as well if you want extra loot. Just shoot it and grab it. Some other locations for you if you're struggling. There is a sort of a fountain in this area here that you can go to, and also as well this particular section. Where is it? Here. There's sometimes some named enemies here. So if you're busy here, just go to some of the other locations I've just advised to you, and hopefully you'll be able to get that pretty quick. There are also guides online for spawn locations, but this particular location I've just shown now is probably the most, you know, the most efficient place to find them. Like I said, if they're not spawning up on this hill here, just keep running back towards the area that I've marked that you can see on my screen right now with the orange dot. I'll just show you again on the map, either where I'm standing now or just this building here, and you'll find them. Kill the enemy, they'll drop the card, and then you can get that really quick. So I hope you've enjoyed this one. Again, I know it's been a bit of a useless information for most players because there's so much information online, but I wanted to do a detailed guide of both locations within DC and Washington. So I hope you've all enjoyed this. I'll find something for next time, and I'll see you all next time. Thank you for watching. I'm being shot.